We are here with the Brother Side Podcast. We're back with Mr. Chuck Sederstrom of Finance One, NuMale and NuFemme. This is our second airing with Chuck. Our first one got lost somehow, unfortunately, so we got to recreate the magic.
Fortunately, I'm not sure.
Fortunately.
It was a good dry run.
Practice.
We had to make sure that you'd be on top of the P's and Q's before.
Well, even actually show up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's always number one with me.
Right. I was basically laughing that whole episode, so it's probably good we get a redo.
Yeah.
Well, I was just a giggle puff that whole time.
You did laugh so much. I don't even think nothing was really funny.
I know.
Chuck's funny.
Yeah.
So Chuck, we're drinking Heineken, right?
Chuck's drinking Heineken.
We're drinking Coors.
The breakfast of champions.
Coors. Why Heineken, Chuck? Got to hear it.
Well, it's good beer for one, but I like,
Disagree.
especially if we're in a bar and it's an attractive service person, we'll say it that way.
Yeah,
because it could be male or female, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm okay with that. And they say, what would you like? I say, I want Heineken.
There it is.
There it is. Well,
perfect.
And it works. I only get slapped 9 out of 10 times.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's just
10% of the time it works. I'd say those are good odds.
1% is a pretty good return.
I'd go.
Don't you have
on that?
You got a theory with green bottle beer, don't you?
It all tastes like cat piss.
Why green bottle beer?
I don't know.
What do you have against cats?
I hate. Yeah. It's not so much cats. It's mostly their piss.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's just, I think most of it's terrible. You think about Beck's green bottle beer, terrible. Heineken, I hate. Grolsch, have you ever had Grolsch?
No, I haven't.
Grolsch is
Dos Equis?
Dos Equis is tolerable, but Dos Equis Amber much better.
Yeah, I agree.
Rolling Rock, I don't think is very good. Green bottle. I mean, it's. I'm telling you, it's.
Well,
just,
I've been told, and I don't know if this is a true stat, a fun fact, but I was told that green bottle is on purpose to create that bittery taste, that skunk type taste that some of us cat piss drinkers like.
Yeah. So they're intentionally trying to make it taste bad, and for
piss
some
you
reason
off.
people
Or piss you off. I don't know which.
It's definitely pissing Justin
The
off.
list to piss me off is extensive. But yeah, I just never liked Heineken ever. But Dad likes it. Maybe it's an old person thing. Chuck, is that true?
I like your dad. Don't call him old.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right.
Hey, he could be your next NuMale customer, right?
Let's put in a good word.
Yeah.
Does your mom smile a lot, or is she a little grouchy? Does she frown?
I don't know. When I'm
Because
around,
that could
she's
be a
grouchy.
big indicator as to whether we get him in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, I'd say let's get him in.
Let's
get him in.
She can get a little owly. Yeah.
So, Chuck, has your drinking gone up during COVID? Hasn't everybody's? I mean, isn't that, what do you do?
Yeah, I would have to say it's definitely gone up, which has caused this to go up.
Sure.
So, yeah.
The old
For
beer
the
bill.
podcast listeners, he just pointed to his belly.
Yeah.
It's increased in size.
It's bigger than it was a year ago. Let's just say that.
But you're happier.
I am happier. I sleep a lot better. Some call that passing out. I call it really good night's sleep.
I've never fallen asleep easier.
Exactly.
It's not from melatonin.
It's called the blackout.
Yeah. Well, it's just so much easier to have that 1 extra or 2 extra bottles of wine at lunch. It just is a hell of a lot easier. Right?
Not glasses, bottles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no BS. I went to a dinner the other night and I got home. It was a soft opening for a place in Valley, and got home and I'm looking at my bill. I said, 4 bottles of wine?
What?
2 people. But,
Whoa.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a taxi ride.
Well, I
home
always
for
have to
me.
look at my receipts the next day. I call it the Trail of Tears, just to
Yeah.
find out where I was.
Yeah.
What
What
happened?
happened?
What happened?
What was the name of the business?
Well,
in
it's
Valley?
called Brew, right in downtown Valley.
Really?
And they're partnering up with TJ and Lisa Lerner, who have Rude Shrimp in Valley, in Waterloo, rather. Mm-hmm. So in the winter months, since it's an outdoor venue, they were looking for something to do, and they partnered up with the owners of this Brew coffee, and they serve wine. It's really kind of a kitschy, cool place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he does Italian food. And so he had this soft opening with called a Tour of Italy. And it was super good. So TJ and Lisa, if you're looking, that was a free plug via the Chuckmaster.
TJ and Lisa, better listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get him on.
We'll tag them.
So they're going to do, here we go again, TJ and Lisa, Fridays and Saturdays going forward. So if you have nothing to do and you want, I know you guys sometimes like to travel for date night. I don't know what that's all about.
Travel.
We have.
From Elkhorn Valley.
Elkhorn Valley, we've gone to Hooper. Before.
Yeah, I've heard about the Hooper trip.
Yeah. We've gone places.
You know, you go places. And
We don't do that quite as well. I say we'll go to Benson or like Blackstone.
So really exotic places.
Yeah. Some of the more exotic in
You
Omaha.
cheap
Anyway.
ass, take her to Paris for Christ's sake.
Hey, we booked a Mexico trip for our 10-year anniversary coming up.
Wow.
Yep. We were gonna go to Croatia,
That's what I remember being told.
but with COVID and everything, time to book it has passed, and there's so much uncertainty we just couldn't pull the trigger. But I'm like, Mexico will be open. Like,
And you know what?
Yeah.
they're
They're
gonna
letting
take my
everybody
money.
in.
Yeah, and
So-
it's going to be less than the Croatians, I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Quite a
That'll
bit
be
less.
fun.
Yeah, we're going to the same place we had our honeymoon actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Riviera Maya.
Riviera Maya, the Valentin Imperial, which was a really nice place.
Sexy.
So
That was the best ocean I've ever been to.
So if the
Ocean.
villa is
Huge
a rockin',
waves.
don't come knocking. Is that what you're trying to say? Are
It
you
won't
going to
be.
relive?
It probably won't be rocking quite as much 10 years ago.
Well, Justin had the old procedure done, so
did.
there's
Really?
gonna
I
be no
did.
rocking.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
did about a month ago.
Game
Wow.
over.
What, root canal? What are you talking
No, a different kind of snip.
Well, lower.
The lower
In
region.
the southern region.
Yes.
Okay.
Got rid of the child making ability.
Yeah, and it always makes you wonder who drove that bus. I don't
Yeah.
think it was him.
It was me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was me.
See, I don't buy that.
No,
I was
I-
like, I volunteer to get snipped in the nuts. Right?
Yeah, no, well, it's not that necessarily,
take me.
but like I was more afraid of having a third child than she was.
Oh.
So I was like, what do we got to do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Oh, I know, something that I can control. So I told her,
You know the truth of it? He didn't like her answer, which was, quit touching me.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't like that.
that was the catalyst, I guess.
Do it for me.
It
Yeah.
could have been that he has like a 4-year-old that's still pooping in diapers.
Yeah, that is such a long story.
That sounds like a different podcast.
No, that,
I said it. I said it.
Since you brought that up, not that long ago, we're trying everything to get this kid to start pooping in the toilet, but he still refuses. But not that long ago, we're going without diapers. That's a technique, He'll
Naked weekend.
naked weekend type thing. He'll know that he doesn't have anything on, and he'll tell us that he has to go to the bathroom. Well, that didn't happen. He comes up to me holding something, and it's about the size of like a dime. Like
I thought it was going to be like the size of my arm.
yeah,
My son's healthy.
yeah. It wasn't
What'd
a
you
log,
eat?
but it was like the size of a dime, only in a pebble shape. And he hands it to me. I go, "What's this?" And I bring it up to smell it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, get in the bathroom!" He just handed me a little pebble of poop.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm done, Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I'm like,
me up.
where did this happen? Like, how much more is out there? It was just, there was a lot of questions going on at that moment. Needless to say, it didn't work. The naked weekend didn't work.
Never worked
We're
for
still
me.
fighting. We're still
Never
fighting
worked for
it.
me.
I mean, the kid's going to be 14 before he stops pooping, and his depends at that point.
Yeah.
There won't be pull-ups big enough.
Well, speaking
So-
of depends, I mean, here's what you have to look forward to, guys. So now that's what I'm dealing with my dad.
What?
No, I'm just
Oh, you just
Dad, if you're watching, I'm just joking.
you knew he wouldn't be listening.
Yeah. Our joke is, I said, all right, Dad, I'll change your diaper once.
Right.
And then you're going to happy land.
That's one more time that I would have committed to.
Yeah, well,
You're
I
a
know
kid
you gotta
imagine.
at least say it.
Somebody's
Yeah.
banking on inheritance. That's what that's the whole reason you'd offer that.
Yeah.
I won't put you in a home.
Well, my heart goes out to you. I'm way past that in my life. My kids are grown, and now we're into the grandkids, and kind of going through the same thing. But it's like, here
Here you go,
Yeah.
honey. Clean them up.
now. When are you guys due?
We're due March 6th.
Oh, that's right around the corner.
Poopy diapers are getting close.
It's closer and closer. Just remember that story.
yeah.
Oh,
Embrace the
my
poop.
my
Embrace the
goal
poop.
is to potty train my future daughter before Justin's 4-year-old's trained.
Well, it sounds like you've probably got a good shot.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're-
Like I'm concerned. I would make a bet on that if I thought I could win it.
Well, right.
Yeah,
My,
right. No
my younger
confidence.
brother, and Scott, if you're watching, this is not a joke. He pissed his pants until he was like 6 years old. So it was the same kind of thing. And my grandma thought he had a problem, and he never talked either, largely because I was talking so much.
Right.
But
No way.
no. Anyway, so he turned out screwed up.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Is that the one that lives down south?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alabama?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah, same difference.
Georgia.
Yeah, might as well be the same
Exactly.
place.
Yeah.
Speaking of South, Aaron and I just booked a trip to Mississippi,
what?
Do I ask
the Gulf
why?
Coast vacation, taking the
That's
kids in
random.
July. Yeah,
Like Shreveport type thing?
like a half an hour from New Orleans.
Yeah.
To the
I've been there, and it's different,
yeah,
but I loved it.
it's right.
Go
right
out on
the
a
Gulf.
fishing charter. I'm telling you, the kids will love it.
Fishing charter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seasick.
No, it could be, but it's
Poopy diaper
fast.
with throw up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
down
Where
for
am I
that,
going to
Chuck?
change them at? I
Yeah.
mean,
In the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Just dunk him. Sorry, buddy.
Well, and there are sharks there, so I mean, just be careful.
Right.
Yeah.
You
They're,
can pull up. Oh my God!
they're attracted to dumpy diapers.
You can poop your pants as much as you want, son. I'm sorry you have no legs.
Yeah. That's the same effect as chum.
Yeah.
The shark
So,
chum.
am I just a wealth of suggestions?
I
for
didn't
you?
know that. I'm learning stuff all the time. Yeah, it was random. Beginning of dinner, we were talking about like wanting to take the kids to the ocean. I'm like, well, I don't want to fly them anywhere. Like I didn't go on an airplane until I was 13. It's it's expensive. Brody's probably not old enough to like appreciate that yet. So anyway, by the end of dinner and going into like putting the kids to bed, Aaron was looking at Airbnbs on the Gulf Coast and found one and booked it.
Boom, boom.
I'd had a few drinks, and I think that's kind of like, she's like, I better take advantage of this now because she loves to travel, and I always say no. So I was like, book
So you're
it.
driving. is what
We're going
it
to drive it. We're going to do like 6 hours, stay Springfield, Missouri, then stay in Memphis.
Ooh,
and then
Springfield.
there's actually some cool stuff there.
Well, if you guys want, you've been there before. You're more
I
than
know.
welcome to stop at Branson.
I know.
At least it's a free place.
And it's not that far from Springfield.
No,
it's
it's
like,
40 miles.
yeah.
Silver
So,
Dollar City.
Silver
Silver
Dollar
Dollar
City.
City.
You
baby.
betcha.
yeah, actually, we didn't even talk about that. We might take you up on that.
Reopen that discussion.
Yeah, that would save us a little bit of money. But anyway, so yeah, a couple days down, stay down there on the ocean, and then a couple days back and road trip.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I might hate it. That's a long time with the family.
Take them downtown in New Orleans. Your boys will never be the same.
I know. And she goes, "We're not taking him to Bourbon Street, just so you know." I'm like, "It's tame during the day."
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
night.
Well, except for I took my daughter there, and she's about 5 years old, right? I'm like, what's the big deal? She's got to grow up sometime. Right? So we're walking down Bourbon
Oh man,
Street.
I about spit out my beer.
And she's I was dating this Southern girl, and Robin's walking up ahead, and she comes to a store, and she's looking in this thing. She goes, "Daddy, look." It was a tie with a penis on it. Right, come on, baby.
Keep walking.
Get outta here.
That's a weird rocket, isn't it?
That's all it is. It's strip club, bead shop, bar.
Oh, yeah.
Like just in a row for like
Just
a mile,
forever.
half
Yeah.
a mile.
And Aaron and I both been on Bourbon Street. Well, I was
okay.
21, she was 20. We weren't together at that point, but we both experienced Mardi Gras. So this is obviously way outside of Mardi Gras. I'm like, I wouldn't imagine Bourbon Street is that bad outside of outside of Mardi Gras during the day. Like,
Probably different.
because I think it'd be cool to at least walk
During
down
the
street.
day, you're right. Because
Yeah.
they're busy hosing down the street.
Right, yeah. You gotta hose down all the vomit and piss and everything.
That was disturbing when I saw that. It was
It is
gross.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very disturbing. So my son got married this year, back in August,
in Dallas, right?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Same
yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
And he had his bachelor party in New Orleans. Well, lucky, cool dad, I get invited, right? It's like,
Yeah, you fit the bill of cool dad.
Dad does it all.
Yeah,
right?
Dad's gonna be the funnest one here.
Well, maybe I was.
I believe it.
So, and this is right at the front end of COVID, right? So it was being impacted. I mean, it was very, very sparse, not busy at all. But it wasn't so far down the rabbit hole that, well, I guess if any of my female friends are watching, this part is not true, kind of.
I love disclosure after disclosure.
We are
earmuffs.
It was so apparently not overly worried about that the strip clubs were wide open, so I was told. So
What do you mean wide open?
you could go in and put your face in their breasts.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was full on.
Nothing's off.
Yeah.
Nothing was off the table.
COVID, what?
Yeah.
How bad can this be?
Yeah.
There's worse things than COVID on strip.
Well, they were all like Russian or whatever. And the thought crossed your mind, when I was watching these guys do things like this. I was watching. Boys, be careful.
Yes.
You could catch something.
Right.
Johnny, put on your mask.
Masking motorboats.
Well, you guys have fun down there. I love the Gulf Coast.
Yeah. I've never experienced the Gulf Coast like that before, so this should be interesting.
I was in the Shreveport, and they've got casinos and stuff like that, but it's kind of dirty. There's a lot like, for all of my friends in the South, this isn't meant to sound as bad as it is. It's like a lot of the South. There are places there, and some up the north too. To all of my Yankee friends up there, this isn't meant to be disparaging to those of us up north, but like if something like a car breaks or a house gets shitty, they just leave it and get a new one and put it next door. It's just right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Too expensive to haul it away.
But why would you do it? That's storage.
That's a great lawn ornament.
That's storage.
Yeah. Way better than a gnome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
A lot of dishwashers and dryers, or not dishwashers, just wash machines.
Washing machines.
When I went to Daytona for spring break, I remember thinking when we went through Alabama, like, wow, there's a lot of wash machines and dryers in people's front yards, like house after house after house.
Where are you supposed to take them?
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
got a perfectly good lawn right there.
Plus, you have to spend extra money for good planters. So just open up that refrigerator or that washer or dryer, and you got yourself a hell of a nice planter.
Right.
There you go.
Lay it on its back, put it dirt in it.
DIY.
Yeah.
Well, don't be talking about the girls down there.
Southern DIY. Yeah. Layer on the back.
When I was down there, I learned what baby bear cubs and southern girls have in common.
What's that?
Well, they both like to suck their paws. Was that bad?
No, this is on cable. It's all good. So anyway, this tangent started from, have you been drinking more since COVID?
Boy, we went down a hell of a rabbit hole on that one now, didn't we?
We sure did.
We should go back to your days in Alaska.
Well, it's a lot like what you just talked about, drinking too much. So it's like, did you drink too much when you were in high school in Alaska? Yes. It was just a lot like COVID.
It's like, what do you do up there?
It's cold.
Yeah.
We'd go to the bus stop and have, a little sniffer.
Yeah.
So, really?
It was, you got to remember though, this is in the late 60s, early 70s. It was the first experiment with legalized marijuana. It kind of got out of hand, so they made it illegal again. Now, of course, everybody's going to the trend of, recreational.
Yeah.
And we were just up there in July, and they have these pot stores that.
Dispensaries?
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. They just go in, and it's like, you don't even need a prescription.
Right. I don't need to make up glaucoma.
Yeah. I have issues.
Yeah. That hitch looks so fake. Yeah. Give me marijuana.
You just need a homie hookup,
Yeah.
basically.
But you just can go in.
No, you just go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you say,
take
well,
10
what do you
of your
want? They have,
finest
all different kinds and hybrids, and do you want the munchies, or do you want to see Pluto? Whatever. I mean, it's just you pick what you want, and
Right.
so I've been told.
Yeah.
That's
Rumor has it.
That's
friend of mine
that's
who
what my
told
friends
me.
were telling me about it. But anyway, so Alaska is a unique place to grow up.
Born and raised, right?
No. Born in South Dakota,
Oh, that's
Deadwood,
right,
South
that's
Dakota.
right. Yes,
Yeah,
I knew that.
The now famous Deadwood.
Yeah.
Where my dad was born, and so on and so forth. Well, they got divorced. We moved up there when I was 8 or 9. And you go from small town South Dakota to a relatively larger town with a very transient population. You'll learn to fight or duck really, really quick. I mean, it was a rough place to grow up back then. You go to an environment where in the wintertime, you rarely see the sun, right? I mean,
it's so weird. That'd be so hard.
So weird. But in the summertime, it stays up. And this is, even when school's still on, I'll never forget not being able to go to bed at night at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night because the sun's still shining through the window.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very strange. If you love outdoor sports, which I do, hunting, fishing, and all that kind of stuff, it's a great place. And my mom and sister still live there, so still try to get up there every year. And I like it more now, quite frankly, when I can leave.
Just
before
visit.
winter.
Yeah.
So back to your duck or fight. Were you a fighter?
I was
Firefight.
a lover.
Yeah.
I learned to love really young.
Yeah. Talk your way out of
Let's
it.
not get too deep into that.
Well, so I shouldn't talk about my babysitter when I was a kid?
Sure.
No,
Bring it
let's
on.
not. Let's go back to Alaska. So I mean, I that's where I learned to sell, right? I'm going to be everybody's friend, and so I've got friends even to this day that are pretty rough, right? So I just decided I would rather have you be my friend and punch him.
You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
Right.
Well, he was looking at you funny. So
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
want those guys in your corner. Absolutely.
Heck yeah. So that's kind of where I learned that action. It's like, you just need to see one guy in junior high get knocked out and his nose broke to go, I don't want to be his friend, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, right.
So, I didn't do either one.
Okay.
I was the friend of the universe.
Is that where you started fly fishing? Was in Alaska?
No, that didn't come till later. We were poor, so I mean, we couldn't afford that stuff. We went to the secondhand store to get big old cane poles, and we wouldn't have. That was considered rich people stuff, right?
Really? Fly fishing?
Yeah, it's expensive.
Is it really? I don't
those
know.
fly rods are anywhere from $500 to $3,000.
What?
Oh my
Yeah, they're
gosh.
expensive. That's just the rod. Never mind the reel and all the stuff and the waders and
Sure.
if you want to get really fancy, yeah.
Have you ever crossed a bear?
I should pull up my pictures and show you. I will after the podcast, multiple times. Yeah,
Like how close are we talking?
from me to the camera.
Ooh.
Wow.
Big brown
Grizzly?
bear?
Grizzlies, browns, black bears. A brown and a grizzly is the same thing, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's worse today than when I was a kid. Because back then, they would shoot them if they came into town. Well, you can't shoot the poor little creatures now. So, so what happens is they end up killing somebody, and then, we better remove him.
Yeah.
Or it's usually her.
Protecting cubs.
The cubs.
Yep.
Yeah, you do not want to come between a mama bear and her cubs. You will
Hurt.
let's just say be the last time you see a bear.
Hey, have you ever seen the movie
Wow.
Revenant? Something like that. You just
Yeah,
get kinda
that
mauled.
disturbed me. I didn't like that movie.
I've read the book.
Yeah,
It's a good book.
yeah. I mean, it was good, but it was disturbing.
Yeah.
Especially when he cut open what was it, a deer or whatever, and slept inside it to keep from dying.
But you wouldn't do that?
Yeah, but it was still disturbing.
Yeah.
So this bear, did you use bear mace? Or how'd you get out of that
No,
situation?
because when I'm up there, we're fishing, and that's what they're doing. And so they, like one of my fish guides said, to them, you're like McDonald's, you're junk food. They don't want to have anything to do with you. They're after the fish. So as long as you're not pissing them off, they're not going to mess with you at all. They're over there fishing. And so like the pictures I have are literally from me to that camera, and they're fishing. Now, if you...
Do you try to like move away slowly or something? Like it's not like you stay in that
you
proximity.
become very aware. So one time, this was on the Russian River, and this is very populated. And it's got a ferry that brings you from one side to the other. It's a rope fair, like in the old outlaw Josie Wales movie. It was one of those.
Yeah.
Huck Finn sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So they have horn signals. So if they blast it once, somebody sees a bear. If they blast it twice, bear's moving toward us. If they blast it 3 times, it's
Someone's
like,
dead.
Get the
get
hell
the
out
hell
of
out
there.
of there. If they blast it 4 times, it means
Somebody's
floating down the river.
dead. 4 times too late, they didn't hear it.
And it gets unnerving because you'll see them coming, and then the horn blows. And then they're getting closer, and it blows twice. And you just, if you're not
Hard to relax.
stupid.
Yeah.
So there was this one, and it was a big one, coming up on our side of the river. And watching him, the horn blows, it blows twice, and people are kind of backing up the hill because it's a big steep bank. Well, all of a sudden, this bear goes running up the bank, so now it's behind you, basically. And my sister says, well, good, at least he's up on top. I says, good that he's now behind us instead of in front of us. I don't like this. So pretty soon, you hear the rustling, you turn around. Honest to gosh, this bear, it's above you right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like watching you or just kind of doing its own thing?
He doesn't give a rat's ass. It's like honey badger. Honey badger don't give a shit. Yeah, no, he just looks down like.
Did you throw him a fish? Like, hey, here you go, buddy.
No, but that is one thing. So, for example, the one place we go, it's called Wolverine Creek, and it's known for this. They call it fishing with bear. So you're there, and they just come down to catch fish, and those are the ones that are really, really close. So if you've got a fish on and the bear is there, you cut your line because it will follow that fish to your boat and then tip over the boat. Yeah.
Give me
and he
food.
couldn't mistake your leg for the fish.
No,
but
you don't have to worry about losing a leg on that. But you just still you don't want to piss him off.
Right. Yeah. It just seems dangerous. Oh my lord. It would be. I mean, it'd just be hard to relax and not just be, senses super heightened with it around you. And
sure.
I'm always there during the salmon runs, and so they're there for the salmon, right?
Right.
So again, as long as you're paying attention, and we have bear spray, right? So I mean, it's not like what is way more unnerving to me is up in Montana, like the Yellowstone area. Mm-hmm. So it's world-class fly fishing for trout, just packed with bears, but you can't see them coming. And while they're looking for fish too, they'll go ahead and take a bite out of you as well, right? I mean, they're just that place.
They're just ruthless. What?
They're just murdering sons of bitches.
Those bears are the wrong side of the track bears.
Right, they're the wrong side of the track bears.
Yeah, you don't want those bears.
It's just, that place always left me unnerved.
Why is it so much different there? I don't get it.
I don't know.
And why can't you see them coming? Because the vegetation's so much higher?
Vegetation and a lot of areas that are around corners and stuff. And so a lot of it, now you could find yourself, so another place up in Alaska that I would go for trout. Montana Creek, and there's a number of creeks up there. That would leave me unnerved. Now, I never saw a bear there, but they're there. But there's too many blind areas to where you could walk around a corner and and you startle them, and that's where you got trouble.
Right, and there could be cubs or
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. You can't see them.
Yeah. So, let's talk about something else.
On that note, we'll take a quick break.
All right.
Hey guys, Alex here with the Brother Side Podcast. For those of you who know me and know me well, you may not know that I tend to have an anxious personality. Hard to believe, I know, especially considering my outgoing personality. Normally I just manage this and take it as it comes, but I find that using Able CBD's tincture really helps to manage my anxiousness. I love that the products are organic and all natural, and especially appreciate that they make their products right here in the good old USA in partnership with American farmers. I didn't know that much about CBD before meeting recent ultramarathoner Adam Monkey, who actually swears by Able CBD, but I am so glad I was open-minded enough to give it a try. Oh, and by the way, it does not contain THC. We're grateful that Able CBD agreed to be a brand sponsor, and as a valued listener of the Brother Side, you can use our special code BRO15, BRO15, at www.ablecbd.com. That's www.ablecbd.com for a 15% discount at checkout. Check out ablecbd.com.
We're back with the Brother Side Podcast. We forgot to introduce ourselves at the beginning of the last one. I noticed. I'm Justin, by the way.
I'm Alex.
And in case you haven't heard before, this is our podcast. We have Chuck Sederstrom with us. And we were just talking about Alaska and bears and all things fishing and wildlife.
Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, we were talking about how it can get out of hand if you're getting a little too close to the wildlife up there. But I wanted to ask what the Eskimo situation was like. Did you ever have any Eskimo encounters?
So
Or
You
Inuits.
make it sound like Bigfoot.
this is an apology to all of my Native American and indigenous peoples out there. It is generally believed, not by me, because I can't be offended really, that is a pejorative. That's a derogatory term. That's why they had to change the name of Eskimo pies, right? Because so it is. There are specific tribes, Inuits, but they are indigenous peoples.
Okay. I'm sorry to.
Or Native Americans. So I refuse to answer your question as stated. So I'm going to allow you an opportunity to dig yourself out of this.
Did you have any encounters with local indigenous populations?
Absolutely. One of my best friends growing up, his name was Ross Russler. And this guy in junior high was having sex with adult women, right? I mean, I don't know.
Whoa, what a killer.
This guy, I don't know what he was packing, but whatever it was
working.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So, had a lot of friends that were Native American or indigenous type peoples. And up there, they learned the lesson from the Native Americans down in what we call the lower 48.
Sure.
Where, needless to say, they really got screwed over. And so with the discovery and the evolution of the oil business up there, they formed Native American corporations and, quite frankly, have lots and lots of money.
Really?
Yeah. And so there is a significant amount of money paid to those that are Native American up there, indigenous. Every person that's a citizen, I think you only have to live there 6 months, gets a check every year. It's from the general fund and it's from oil revenues. That is thousands and thousands of dollars. Now it changes every year and I don't know where it's at today. I mean, because the oil industry kind of got hit. What's good for us, low oil prices, is bad for the oil companies, right? Because it costs so much to pull it out of the ground. At a certain point, they're losing money and they'll just stop operations. But the indigenous peoples or Native American population up there, there are certain communities that is all there is. There's, I'm sure, some whites, but had a lot of friends growing up.
Hey, to all my white people out there, it's Caucasian. I'll give you a chance to.
Well, I call them Cox for short. There's too many syllables in Caucasian.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, not that there aren't a lot in indigenous peoples.
You're
but,
right.
Caucasian, it sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Cox sounds cleaner.
Yeah, for sure.
Way cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean, do we just segue to NuMale with that?
Yeah, I think there's got to be
You're welcome.
There's got to be some kind of natural segue there.
So Chuck is the owner of NuMale and NuFemme. And give us a brief synopsis on NuMale. I assume most people can kind of gather what it is.
Well, and again, it's contrary to popular belief that I talk too much. And the joke about me is if you ask me what time it is, I tell you how to build a watch. So I don't want to do that. But I do want to tell you the whole story. So first the earth cooled and then the dinosaurs came.
This is the short version.
NuMale started almost a decade ago when I was traveling for another company we have an interest in called Health Endeavors, and met an individual, and the very beginning of it was ED, or erectile dysfunction treatments, that are designed to help guys who have that issue that can't do the pill, right?
Jeez,
so Viagra and
everybody.
Cialis, they're called vasal or vassal dilators. They dilate the vessels. And they originally came into being, they were being tested for a heart medication, right? To expand the vessels in your heart. Well, so on the test cases, the guys would come in and goes, I don't know about my heart, but geez, doc, you wouldn't believe what happened. So all of a sudden, they just completely rebranded it as an erectile dysfunction. Well, because of the nature of it, because it dilates all your vessels. And that's why they say if you're taking those substances and you see blue, call your doctor right away, right? So certain people, it doesn't work. Other people cannot take it. So if you've got certain heart conditions or you've got type 2 diabetes or whatever, you can't do the pills. So a lot of our treatments, they're injections, and it is 99.9% effective. In other words, it always works because it only dilates the one blood vessel that matters.
Right.
Right?
The one you're going for.
The one you're going for.
Right.
So it's very, very, very effective. We also use the wave technology as well. But we also, and what's really become big business, and you've evidenced that by the amount of companies that have come into this space. We were the very first out there and, in fact, developed a lot of these treatments. It's become big business on the low T or testosterone replacement.
Yep.
And it is absolute fact that every man is going to experience a decline in their testosterone levels. I like to explain it this way. Mother Nature wants to pull older people out of the reproductive ranks because nature, the survival of the fittest, doesn't want, older guys like you reproducing. Well, whoops.
You pointed
I'm
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
So they do that with women through menopause, right? Or nature does, where they can't get pregnant after a certain age. But guess what? With men, that ticking time bomb is not that it doesn't work, but it pulls out what I call the lifeblood of a man, and it precipitously decreases the testosterone levels. That does a number of different things. It starts to eliminate your drive. It's like, yeah, I don't care.
Just not as interested.
Yeah, can we just go ahead and watch another podcast? Isn't the brother side on tonight? Yeah. Or,
damn you,
honey, now the guys are saying I've got a headache, right? I used to be, but that
my toe hurts.
Yeah, my toe hurts. Was that a bump in the night? So the other things that it does is it causes sleep issues. It stops the production of muscle mass and starts storing fat because guess what? If you're getting older and you're in a cave, as the caveman days, you're going to be the last one fed, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it works. So replacing testosterone has become really big business. And so that's become a big portion of ours. And part of the business side of that is it has to continually be redone. So renewals are the biggest source of our business right now. Now we also do, and sorry, Justin, but hair restoration.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Boy,
I knew
look at that.
Bald
head.
Yeah. I knew we were going to touch on it. I just, it hurts every time.
By the way,
you look good bald though.
The lights are really bright in here. Is there any way he can put a hat on?
Yeah.
I am going
Montel
bald.
Jordan or Montel Williams?
Montel Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Yeah, Montel Jordan was the R&B singer.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I got a shiny head.
We do.
What do you want
that.
me to do?
And it's more effective to fill in spots. I mean, I'm going to agree with your brother. You look really good like that. You wouldn't even want to do our treatment.
That is so condescending and false.
You have a nicely formed head.
I do have a nice head for being bald, but if I had a choice to be bald or not bald, I choose not bald.
It'd be kind of fun to plug in.
If I get a sweet hookup on hair replacement, whatever, from NuMale, then I'll plug you on brother's side for the rest of my life.
Okay.
What's the cost to plug him up?
Dude.
Can we go back to how good looking he looks with no hair?
It's too much.
Seriously.
It's too much for my broke.
I think it'd be kind of fun to just do a couple plugs.
These aren't plugs. This is called NeoGraft, and it is an FDA-approved treatment that removes follicles and reinserts them. So the plugs, you can see it, right? You can definitely tell when somebody's had the plugs. This you cannot tell.
Huh.
It is a process by which they remove hair follicles, generally from the backside of your head, and then transplant them here, and they won't do more than 2 follicles because then you can see like plugs. So it's best for fill-ins, and quite frankly, where it's most effective is females, if you think about it. Because a guy, it's like, what, screw it, zoop, zoop, zoop,
My boat.
I'm done.
Yep.
Whereas if you're a female and you're thinning, this is highly effective. It fills in all those thinning spots. And so, and from a just a feel-good perspective, I mean, that's life-changing for them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Whereas a guy,
well, it's socially acceptable to be bald for a guy.
It's like expected.
At least that's what I keep telling myself.
It's expected.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Bruce freaking Willis.
Right.
I'm the Rock.
People
call me Baby Rock.
No, I always tell people, no matter what, with any of these kinds of treatments, and let's face it, part of what we are basically doing is we're in the business of youth. Right, we're trying to turn back the hands of time, ostensibly for women, and then I'll get to NuFemme for females as well.
Yeah.
But I'm a real fortunate spokesman because everything in the world is based on genetics, right? So when we talk about testosterone, and most every guy does experience that decline, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Some guys can be 80 years old and they still have super high testosterone levels. It's just different.
And a full head of hair.
In my family, the oldest child, of which I am, has great hair. My dad's going to be 80 next year, and his
Still.
hair looks just like this.
Yeah, he's
Right.
he's got a full head of hair.
Full
for
head
being
of hair.
80
But
years
gray,
old.
probably.
Nope.
Really?
Very little gray. Yep. But now his younger
Holy
brother
cow.
and my younger brother, big patches of
Emptiness.
emptiness where the pasture has been shaved, has been mowed.
Do you have a bald spot in the back
No.
at all? They call that the friar tuck, I think. The
friar tuck.
No, that's
Friar,
bald on the top. And
No,
then you
Friar
got hair on
Tuck's
the
all
side.
the way around, man. Like it's
That's-
full on.
That's just the sand trap, right?
Yeah,
spot
I
in
mean,
the
there's a
back.
lot of names for
I like
it.
the friar tuck better. So
Just what do you call it?
I call it "Shut Up, Alex."
So let me step in
Okay.
and bring us back to NuMale, because that's what I like talking
Yeah,
about.
all
I
right.
like talking about
bring it
the
in.
penis.
All right.
Talking about the penis. So another thing we do that's really, really interesting, it's called PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma.
Yeah, I was
And
looking that up.
this is billed as non-surgical penile enhancement, which is a real fancy term to say we can make it bigger. And we do it through this PRP treatment.
Justin, you listen?
Yeah.
Well,
after
not,
all,
not saying I need it, but go on.
Tell me more.
so it's the same technology that's used, and it started with professional athletes, where if you tear an ACL or have some sort of an injury, they'll pull out a sampling of your blood, spin out the platelets, which is the next thing toward stem cells, and then re-inject it back in, and it rapidly heals whatever's broken. So they can get back on the field in 2 to 4 weeks instead of 6 months. Well, we learned many, many years ago that the same thing happens in other parts of your body as well. So it is a very effective ED treatment, but it also, we learned, when it regrows new cells, has the impact of increasing size, be up to 1 inch in length and 1 inch in girth. So we always say to
Whoa.
guys, who doesn't want another inch,
Yeah, right.
right? So that's another thing.
Amen.
How about inches, plural? Or,
You know, we haven't explored.
Don't get greedy.
Yeah. You know, hogs get slaughtered.
true.
Hogs
Okay.
get slaughtered.
We'll
So
keep it at the 2.5.
over the years, we also developed treatments for females. So we have a sister company, and that is that's on the same premises, called NuFemme, that does similar things with females, which is real complicated. I mean, to all my female listeners out there, what I'm about to say is not intended as a slight toward the female population, but they're a little more complicated.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
requires a little bit more tender, loving care. So guys, you know, you jump up that testosterone level, and we go around snorting and dragging our knuckles, and we're ready. Just watch out. You know, it's like a buck and rut, right? So females, though, it's a fine balance.
Right.
They're tender flowers.
Yes,
they're
they-
flowers. And so
Much
every
more
one of them's
complicated.
different, and it's different based on their stage of life. Have they had kids? Have they not had kids? Is it premenopausal? Is it postmenopausal? And then you throw in the dynamic of genetics, where every woman's different. Have they had some of their female parts removed? You know, different things like that. So, whereas men, it's hormone replacement. Females, it's hormone balancing. But we also do the hair restoration, weight loss protocols that begin with the hormones, because that's a big part of your weight loss program.
Sure.
Meal plans, and then we do certain things to the flowering parts that help rejuvenate those cells as well, and it's namely laser vaginal rejuvenation. So there you have it, gentlemen. Any questions?
any questions?
I don't even know where to start.
I read on your website that 40% of women struggle with decreased sexual desire. What procedure is that, and how do I buy in?
My disclaimer to my female friends still holds. That's all the hormone thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if ultimately, and again, if you just think of it in very rudimentary terms, and that is, nature doesn't want us reproducing. Well, as we've evolved as a society, while I don't want kids, right, I'm done, I don't want to stop practicing, right?
Right.
And, you know, I still got game, I think. To all of my lady friends still out there, I don't think I got game, I'm just saying.
I know it.
I know
But-
it, baby.
We don't want to get old, right?
Yeah, no, it's not
And
fun.
so this is something females can do that brings them back to feeling better about everything, and especially if there's a weight loss protocol involved. Because at the end of the day, like I said, basically what we are doing is we're doing anti-age treatments, right? We are trying to go to a population where we're doing better really than we've ever done as a society, right? We have less things to worry about. I mean, we don't have to crawl under our tables because a bomb might come flying down, right? Yet.
Right.
But so we're working on how do we enjoy it. We're all going to die, right? Let's just face it. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Yeah, I've heard that.
News
We're
to me.
all
News
going
flash.
to do it. So that's going to happen. I want to make sure that between now and that time, I am living my life to the fullest and to the fullest extent my body can. Because the other thing that happens with men with testosterone is it increases, and it's not just sexual desire, but just your desire to be active. So where you'd normally sit on the couch and munch, Cheetos or something and not clean out the garage, it's like, you know what, I think I'm going to go out. What, you like Cheetos?
I don't know. Alex loves
Let me
Cheetos.
see your fingers.
I thought you were going to say
Why are
something.
why are
You
your
said it on
fingers
two-
all orange?
Yeah, you said it on two
But now you're going to
podcasts.
get up off the couch
Alex
and
loves Cheetos.
go mow the lawn or go clean up the garage or do whatever. It has the impact of increasing your desire to be active. And so then you want to take advantage. You know what, maybe I will go ahead and go for those walks with my wife at night. And maybe I will stare longingly into her eyes. Because maybe later.
Maybe that'll all equate into something great.
Hey, disclaimer to all the male listeners. If you haven't been listening, Christmas gift.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Huh?
Oh, I like that.
How many males come in there like saying, hey, I need this for my wife? None?
Well, so the interesting thing for me is I am not
I don't know.
employee there. I'm not a practitioner. I'm an investor, right, and a promoter. So I'm out there promoting. I'm rah-rahing the troops. Networking, getting the word out there. So I can't know any of that, to be honest with you. So, I mean, there's laws called HIPAA that prevent them from communicating with me at all about any. Now, if you went in and said, hey, I'm a friend of Chuck's, he says I can get a deal, they'll probably call me and say, hey, a friend of yours, name starts with A, said that, you'd come in here and get free shit.
Yeah.
They'll do something like that. But we can't have an interaction. So I won't ever know that. So what we've done is we've created a greater interaction between the male and the female side. Mm-hmm. And so our business on the female side has increased dramatically as a result of that. So it is my suspicion that we're seeing more and more of that because of the interaction. Because we encourage guys to bring their partner in.
Makes
You'll
sense.
notice to my
It's a joint
my
decision.
gay and lesbian friends, I said partner. Because we don't care
So
what you're
PC.
going to do with it. We really don't care. So bring your partner in because we want you to be part of this process. So if she or he's coming in and they see the procedure and the other stuff, they're more inclined to, maybe take advantage of it for themselves. But as far as gifts, we've tried that. I don't know that it was overly successful, to be honest about it.
Sure.
So, but I like where you're going. So,
It's an idea.
listeners to the brother side, listen to Brother Alex.
That was all Alex.
Solid advice.
I am 100% happy. All Alex.
It's over for me now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's public.
Yeah, since you're about to have a baby, oof, good luck.
Game over.
Good luck. We should talk about Finance One a little bit.
Finance One. We got 7 minutes. So obviously the big thing in finance and mortgages right now is the interest rates.
Right.
I don't know how to segue that. I mean,
Well, instead of things getting bigger and going up, rates are coming down.
hey,
There we
there we
go.
go.
Hey.
Rates
Yeah.
are coming down. And they've been down to historic levels for a decade. And it's just amazing because you never know, is it going to go lower, right? And so people will come in a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, do refinancing. Hey, it's at 4. It'll probably never go lower. Well, guess what? It's gone
don't know.
lower.
Yeah.
And what happens then, and I wish I could say I was so brilliant that I created this opportunity for repeat business, because normally if you come to me for a home loan, I get to see you once or twice or 3 times in your life. Right?
Yeah.
This is a long-term proposition. Well, I've got people that I've worked with 3 and 4 times over the last 5 years, which is just
Keep
unprecedented.
refinancing.
Well, at
Or
a
new
certain
house.
point, it won't make sense, right? But we always do the equation and make sure we're measuring the cost factor of what you did pay versus what you will pay versus what your savings is, right? And so it's It's been a record-breaking year as a result of that.
Congrats.
But interest rates are remaining at historic lows. I don't see anything currently on the horizon that's going to change that. The purchase money market, in other words, the purchase business, for me personally, is a little bit slower than I would like it to be, but the refinance business is overwhelming. So I've got one couple. And here's just kind of maybe a shout out to somebody that's in this situation. We did their home loan a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. At the time, they had impaired credit, meaning their credit scores were a little lower, which we get disproportionately higher interest rates because of that. Mm-hmm. So we closed them at 4.875, and it was a big deal. It was $450,000 or something. Well, guess what? Their credit's improved in the meantime. Rates have improved. I'm able to drop them 2%. Their payment's dropping $1,000 a month.
Wow.
That's
And the
so
cost
huge.
is $1,500. I mean, this is no-brainer.
Make it up
stuff.
in 2 months.
Yeah. No-brainer. So those are the kind of success stories, the feel-good stories that I enjoy, because it makes a definite difference in people's life. Another thing we're doing a lot of, because values have gone up. So there's equities out there, individuals accessing their equity. I've got one guy we just closed who's putting in a pool in spring. So he says, I'm going to take my money now. I want that lower interest rate, and then I'll get my pool started next year. Another couple that I'm working with, paying off 2 or 3 debts. But the really big feel-good story is a young lady, single mom, where she just had killed herself on debt. I mean, she has got charge cards up the wazoo. Long and short, we're able to figure out how to do this, pay off virtually everything. Now, this is a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Dropping down total outgo by $2,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
It's life changing.
And you're making, she cried, right? So you're making a difference in people's life, and that's what I enjoy.
God,
Yeah,
you're helping people on all sorts of levels.
Chuck, to full
From the
disclosure,
top to the bottom,
Chuck
and
did
all
our
points
loan.
in between.
Chuck just refinanced me and Aaron 2 months, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, something
Couple
like
months,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we like Chuck. So,
Well,
I got refinanced as well.
do you like Chuck?
He's all right.
Okay.
He's all right.
Dees.
Jeez.
Dees.
What was I going to say? What's the difference between a HELOC and a cash out refi?
A HELOC is a second mortgage. And by definition, that's a home equity line of credit.
Yep.
So it starts at 0. They let you draw up to a certain level, so it's like a charge card in that respect.
Yep.
But you keep your current mortgage in place. A cash out or whatever, you're redoing the entire thing, and you're putting it all on, say, a 30 or 15 or 20-year payout. So your payments are going to be less. The other thing about a HELOC is they're generally variable interest rates, and it's charged monthly similar to a charge card. So it's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. But for example, I just referred somebody to a HELOC loan because they wanted cash out. Cash out on a refinance, it's 80% of your value. Most HELOCs will go to 90. So I couldn't give him as much as he wanted anyway, but he currently had a 3% interest rate. So it would be stupid to refinance that, even if I could give him another 3%,
Right.
give him less money. I mean, just go get what you want, and you can pay that off separate.
How long does a HELOC last? Isn't the term 10 to 20 years?
Yeah,
And you gotta
they
make
generally,
interest
yeah,
only?
they generally are going to put a term on it, and it's generally not more than 15 years, but it's just different with every bank because banks are holding those, so it's less generic. My market's very generic.
Sure.
So, but yeah, every bank has a unique product out there, but most of them want to make sure they're getting paid off within a specified period of time.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. HELOC's a good option to do various projects at home and whatever, right?
Yeah, and again, especially if your current mortgage is relatively low.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to redo the entire thing. I've got somebody right now, they're at 3 1/4, and so I said, let's just do the math. Well, was able to do like 2.875 or whatever. Well, they just liked the fact that their payment was going to go up like $80 to get $40,000. Well, a HELOC's going to cost them more, right? And so it just depends on the situation as to what's going to be better. And sometimes it's deceiving because whatever their current rate is, if it's lower than a certain threshold, it maybe makes sense just to do the HELOC.
So you said nothing on the horizon, nothing that you know of with the new administration coming up. I know there's talks about 1031s
Yeah,
going out the
and
window.
by nothing on the horizon, I mean for the foreseeable future. What a year from today or 2 years from today brings, anybody's guess.
Sure.
Because if you asked me a year ago where rates would be today, I would have never told you they're at where they're at. I would have figured they'd be higher. So I'm not a great guesser when it comes to what's going to
Not a
happen.
fortune teller.
I do not have crystal balls.
Okay. All right. Good
But
to
you
know.
do have balls.
Well, it depends on how you look at that, Alex.
That's a loaded question.
That's a
Hey-o.
loaded question. Tune in next week for the answer.
How do we want to wrap this up? We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I don't know. We talked about fly fishing.
Jess,
What's one thing you would say to a previous employer? Have you ever? You haven't always owned your own business.
I've worked for other people, but I first started Finance One in 1985. So I've had this for a long time. I left for a period of time. I merged it into a local bank and learned really quick I didn't like jobs.
Yep.
So I didn't like being in that bank environment where you had to be there at a certain time and leave at a certain time, and you know. So I took a job from a national company to open a series of branches in the Midwest, and so that was more of a job, but it was a regional manager job. So I got to travel all the time, and I had people under me. Loved that job, and then left that and became what was called an account rep for the largest savings and loan in the United States at the time, until they became the largest savings and loan collapse in the history of the United States during the meltdown in 2008.
Yeah.
So for me personally, and it's always been commission, and I used to have some base salary type stuff, but commission's the same as self-employed, right?
Right.
So even though I've had employers per se, I've always worked on commission. And so, you know,
Always betting on yourself.
betting on myself, baby.
That's right.
Betting on
It's,
myself.
isn't that Warren Buffett's like famous tagline?
don't
Invest
know.
in yourself.
Sure. That sounds like something you'd say.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you're not Warren
me and
Buffett's
Warren, man.
real
we're like
tight.
this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Brothers.
Quick shout out to your favorite restaurant right now. Go.
Anton's in Kansas City.
What?
Oh,
I thought it was
Pacific,
gonna be local.
Pacific Eating House up on Pacific Street. There you go.
Pacific
Daryl.
Eating House.
Pacific Eating House, my favorite. J. Coco's in Midtown, another
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Those
Awesome.
are my faves. There's 3 shout outs.
Anton's
Awesome.
in Kansas City. Yeah.
Well, it was good having you on today, Chuck.
Man, it's
Appreciate it.
always a
Yeah.
pleasure,
fun.
guys.
I
Thanks,
just laughed.
thanks for
the whole
coming
time.
back.
Oh, phew.
Our
Hopefully
first
we get
repeat.
I had to think long and hard.
Hopefully, we
bet
get
you
this recorded this time, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just got to bring it back a third time.
Yeah.
Hey, just have the beer going.
All
Yeah.
right. We'll
I'll be
do.
here.
All right. Till next time. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks,
guys.
Chuck.